that means then that everybody is currently ready to start. I have 4 tokens and 5 players on screen.
I'll give you a token.
My token's there.
So's mine.
Still loading up.
Okay, it doesn't matter now anyway. Just if everybody's got tokens, that is fine. So, welcome to the world, or at least this specific nation of the world. It is not the all-encompassing be-all and end-all. These 6 nations that are a part of this area that you're on is a continent, if you will, with counties, I suppose, is probably the easiest way to look at how the area that you're inhabiting is shaped. So think like the UK, but instead of Scotland and Wales and whatever, you've got Calabria and the Everwood and so on and so on and so on. So there are other continents, overseas across the land. Like you're on like a global structure, like a planet. This is just the part of the world you guys inhabit. So there are other parts from further afield. Only mentioning that now in case it ever comes into play where you meet someone that's from somewhere else and you're like, but you said there were only 6 things. No, there are other things that are just further away and you don't live there. Just laying the groundwork for potential future things.
Future shenanigans, you mean?
Cool. We are now officially in session. So if anybody has a last-minute question or curiosity right this second, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Love you.
Thanks. Love you all too. Not a question. No. Right, cool. So you all start out at your various originating places, wherever you decide you were. I think most of you said you wanted to start out the game somewhere in Thespus.
Yeah.
Obviously, for I believe everyone other than in Elvira, Thespus will be somewhere you have found yourself, rather than for Elvira, it's somewhere you will find yourself returning to. So that's the way I grasp the characters. Is everybody's from somewhere else apart from Elvira, who is from here, but she moved.
So this is bad.
Yeah, you're now back to Thespus, which is where the Bernards all live.
Yeah.
I mean, not where they all live. They can live wherever the fuck they want. This is just where the best bards in the land are born and raised and live and work. Okay, so would you like to, should we go around the group and introduce your various characters? Just a couple of sentences about who you are, where you're from, what you do, yada, yada, yada. And then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of why you all find yourself here. So who would like to go first? Any volunteers?
I'll go first.
There we go, Scott. Benny.
So, I am playing Benny Chestington, a half-elf bard of eloquence. Born in the land of Calabrite, raised religious but rebelled due to his love of music, and left home, shunned by parents, and now lives and makes a living in what's it called? Pathos? No,
Thespus.
Thespus. He's a rock star.
He thinks. Cool. Next.
He's a rock star.
Volunteer or?
I'll go.
Cool.
I'm Elvarian. I am what I believe is human, but I'm actually a changeling. I believe I'm a human cleric. I was born in Bardsville to 2 very, very well-known bards over that way. But due to strange possessions that was going on, I wandered over to the clerics and learnt my way, and I've been living with the clerics for as long as I can remember now.
Cool.
Go on, I'll go then. I'm Imril, Nerith, a drow female ranger, originally from the Everwoods, where she spent her entire life. The best and the brightest among her peers, hunted the first at an early age. She sees omens and portents everywhere, in every small nuance of how ants moves and how leaves fall, and she believes she is destined for great things. So, after spotting some omens that no one else really understood but her, she's travelled to the big city to fulfil her destiny that she believes she has.
Okie dokie. Next.
Right. Who's playing?
I can go.
Go.
I'm playing Beyond Devastate Bramblehorn. He's a 5'10"
Satyr?
Later, yeah.
who is part rogue, part barbarian. Was born and raised in Battlespire. Doesn't really know his mother; she died. And his father is a soldier, or an officer in the army, and he was Theon was in the army as a soldier, but he had to leave to explore and find out more about his mother and his passion for music, and ended up going to Thespus, where he bumped into a character called Benny.
Cool. Ali, that leaves us with you.
It does, and I'm just scrolling back.
Cliff notes only. I don't need all 12 paragraphs.
Oh, I know. I have Leandril Stormweaver. He's a high elf blade singing wizard. He was born to a prestigious high elven family with connections, well, high end connections. And he has been known to sneak into Battlespire on occasion. He has the interest in arcane and martial. And that's as much as I'm going to leave it.
Okie dokie. I don't know how much you guys have discussed your characters and how much you know about each other behind the scenes, but we shall assume for the moment that all you guys know in game is what you have shared. So obviously we've got Benny and Beyond that know each other from before. Anybody else familiar with each other, or are you all complete strangers?
I think complete strangers.
Yeah.
Cool, brilliant. What would you all have been doing? Let's say enter scene, start of session. You find yourselves on just an average day, normal inclement weather for Thespus, where you all find yourselves in or around. If you're not in the city, you're en route to the city for whatever reason. What would you be doing for your day to day? Obviously, Benny and Beyond, I guess, would be counting their musical crafts, maybe busking, gigging, something along those lines is probably what you're up to throughout the day to day. Because I can say words and things and stuff. Is it Leandril or Lyrandel? Because it's spelled Lyrandel. Is it Leandril?
No, it's Lyrandale. Sorry, I
Lyrandel.
messed up. Yeah,
Just double checking whether you wanted it to be Leandril and you've spelled it wrong, or whether it is Lyrandel.
No, it's Lyrandale. I just got characters mixed up.
I was sure there was a Leandril in a different thing, but no, that's yeah. So Lyrandel, why does he find himself in Thespus on this day in general?
He's just down there for some much needed downtime.
Just exploring. Yeah, I mean, Lyrandel is sort of the entertainment centre of the nation, or like the various surrounding areas. Like if somebody wants to go and watch a gig, if somebody wants to go to like party it up, they're going to Thespus. That's where all of like the the concerts happen. It's where all the best bars are. It's where everybody goes for fun. Like that's the fun place. On on its face, that's what it is. Obviously, people in the know will know that there is a seedier underbelly to it because it's also well known for
Yep.
pickpockets, thieves, ne'er-do-wells in the back alleys and the darker streets. So it's think Vegas, like you've got the big bright lights of the strip, but then you've got the surrounding areas that aren't quite as touristy, that can have who knows what going on at whatever time. Why would Elvira have found herself in Thespus? Because she was obviously born here, knows it very well, left to become a cleric in another land, town, city, whatever.
Elvira's backstory that I haven't posted yet, but I'm nearly finished with.
Yep.
It's basically along the lines of she's got these little voices in her head that are telling her to do things and to go places, and she doesn't have to obey them, but it gets her curiosity up. So this time round, they've been trying to lead her to go back home. So she's not sure why, but she figures that the voice are leading her back that way. She better go and check on her family and just make sure everybody's back home's fine, just to brush that thought off.
Cool. So she's had some whispers from some otherworldly voices that are sort of leading her to go back to Thespus for whatever reason, and that's why she finds herself back in Thespus.
Right now, currently, she's probably sitting at the back of one of the pubs, watching her parents perform on stage, trying to keep her head down so they don't drag her up with them.
Perfect. Okay, so as you're all going about your days doing whatever, we will just go briefly to Imril, who I believe from when I spoke to Kat is going to be en route to Thespus or just outside of Thespus.
Yes, what's happened is she's left the Everwood. Her morning routine, wakes at dawn as normal, spins 6 times in a circle counterclockwise to align to the proper compasses, observes the morning migration of ants along the specific tree, which tells her the direction that she needs to go in. So she approaches the village following the signs that she sees all along her journey. And maybe at some point she spotted some smoke from a campfire in the distance, or has spotted one of the members of the other party out and about, and something about their behaviour has led her to believe that she is destined to adventure with them. So she will have tracked one or more of the party members as if they are animals, wildlife to be studied.
Cool. So she'll be aware of one or more of
Yep.
the party, but they will not know who she is and will not have come across her. But she might know something about who they are or how they carry themselves on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
Absolutely perfect. It also sounds like she might have some sort of fantasy ADHD, which I'm sure will
Yes.
be fun in the future.
She sees signs everywhere.
Yeah.
So there are little rituals she has to do, and she believes completely in them.
Torch and blow it out 7 times before
Yes.
she leaves the room.
She has to speak to each of her weapons to make sure they're properly energized for the day, to make sure things are aligning properly. Lots of little rituals that make sense only to her.
Perfect. So throughout the day, whilst you're all going around your business, I will say Beon and Benny will have been, let's say gigging at a local tavern, performing with their band, Pinkin Lark, maybe. I don't. Do you have a band name? Think you're on mute, Scott. You're on mute.
Letters round on ABBA, so it's BAAB.
Bab.
Bab. Bab.
Bab. Bab.
Oh, wait, Bob.
Bab. Okay.
We'll work on it. Me and Craig will work on it. We'll come up with a really.
Are they one of those bands where their band name changes almost every gig they go to because they can't quite settle on what name they want for the band? Yeah. Cool. So, band name undetermined. You're a local inn/tavern/club/bar/music venue performing when you're both approached by a mysterious hooded stranger who hands each of you a note and disappears as fast as they appeared. A similar instance will happen to everybody else. Apart from Imral, who will just see an arrow fly into a tree near her.
That's sent her on a half-a-day expedition. There was a lot of introspection.
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, if you guys don't come up with a different band game each session, I'm going to need more of those.
I mean, it feels easy enough to just take the last few words that Graham says every time. Indeterminate band name. Yep, that's the name of the band today.
Oh, get behind that.
That's what she said.
Unless your band is called That's What She Said.
That's a great band name.
The Michael Scott Experience.
I'm just picturing Imriel with the arrow goes flying into a tree next to her. It's a sign.
Yeah, but what she would be is like, it's a sign because it landed on the pine tree. Not the arrow itself.
Not the note on it.
No, none of that. It's the way it's interacted with the world. The sparrow that shrieked as it interacts with the leaves that fall. And there just happens to be a note.
Ranger or a druid?
Ranger.
Ranger. Okay. Yeah, I've sent you a band name for the first session if you want to check on WhatsApp, Craig. And then we can do a new one every time.
Yeah, happy with that.
Cool. Are we going to do different genres of music depending on the name?
Yes. Yeah, because I was playing the drums. You're the maestro.
Maybe Imral has passed by where you're playing and is curious about the wailing, screeching noise of the animals that are obviously in some distress.
Oh, that's funny you should say that.
Yes.
Oh, have I correctly guessed your band name?
Well, you're not a million miles away.
Not a million miles away at all.
While he's doing this, do you want to give you a little bit more about my backstory? Just very
Yeah.
briefly? Yeah. I've got it written up. I've just not sent it. It's along the lines of my parents were both very well-known bards. I've played with them since I was a young child. But they're also in the thieving trade, and they used to use me to smuggle things without me knowing. Hence, I've got a thievery background. I went off, because I was hearing voices in my head, I went off to the clerics. From there, I learned the trades and everything like that. Can't help the possessions as and when they happen. I can't control that. But I don't like singing, I don't like dancing, I don't like performing, but that's what my parents do day in, day out. Hi, Graham, welcome back.
Yeah, sorry for the brief interruption. The kids were saying goodnight because it was bedtime.
I'm slightly
Harry was
jealous.
saying, I don't want to go to bed. He's going to bed. Because he has to stop playing on his tablet. Anyway, back to it. You have all been at some point or another approached or have received what is just labelled as mysterious note in game thingy. And it is extremely mysterious and very brief and tells you basically fuck off.
You can't be on stage. You get off the stage.
Oh no, not that one.
For those of you that are obviously you're all already in Thespus, but I had written this before you all said you wanted to be in Thespus, and I assumed you'd all be scattered across the various places origin. So it'll still stay that, but those of you that are in the know would probably have an idea of where to go to get further information. Because who is E? Does anybody know who E could be? E could be anybody.
Could be everybody.
Could be everybody, yeah. So you all receive this mysterious note. Let's just say, where would you go from receiving that note? And we'll see what people can ascertain.
I would speak to my parents and ask them if they could decipher it in any way. they're quite well-known band. They know quite a lot of people. They'll know a lot of people whose name begins with E. But
Yeah. I mean, even your name begins with E.
it does. I
And
do to myself.
you do get constantly possessed by other things, so you could have written this note to yourself. Who knows?
That is probably exactly what they would say to me.
After finishing our gig, the squealing banshees will take a bow and leave stage, and Benny's going to turn Bjorn and say,
You're
Bjorn,
gonna become Benny and Bjorn.
I think we're finally getting signed. I think this must be an agent who wants to see us. So I would suggest we go to the the biggest booker in town to see if they
Biggest
have
what,
any
sorry?
information.
Yep. Cool.
5 times, booker.
If that's what you think we should do, Benny, yeah, I'm happy to go along with that. Can't believe we made it.
I know. No more playing at these dingy inns. Only the big stages for us now.
Do you think we might get paid?
I think we'll get paid in more than just money. Fame, fortune, women, whatever we want.
I'm sure you will. You deserve it.
Imril,
really
how would
do.
Imril respond to this arrow hitting a tree nearby?
She will take the impact of the arrow as more of a sign than what the arrow may contain. After 3 hours of deliberation on the cloud formations at the time, she will take down the arrow and the note, lick it to determine what the taste is and whether that has any bearing on it. Read it, squint at it, interesting, take off her shoes to ground herself properly in the dirt to fully absorb the meaning of the words. Not understand who E is, but it will be revealed to me as I continue on my journey. I will then place it on the ground so the paper can reintroduce itself to the earth for the tree it once was, and then put my shoes back on and continue into Thespus.
Cool. Roll me, just for your own purposes, let's call it perception.
Perception.
See if you can perceive any sort of taste.
Ooh.
Tastes like wine.
Oh, tastes like wine.
Tastes like wine, perfume, and dingy inn smoke.
She will deduce all of this as if it's a natural thing that, of course, you get. You read a book, you taste a book, and you can learn. Yeah, I mean, of course you would. You learn about these things through interacting with the world. So she will detect the hint of the grapes and remember the journey and honour the journey the grapes have been on to turn into the wine. Smell the smoke and maybe spot some smoke in the distance, completely unrelated to it, and think, the smoke, obviously. And then follow a cat along an alleyway.
Oh, absolutely fine. How would Lyrindel respond to being handed a note from a mysterious hooded stranger that disappeared as fast as they had appeared?
How does who, sorry?
Lyrindel. Because we've got Elvira's going to talk to her parents, find out if they know who she is. Bjorn and Benny are going to go to their booking agent and find out if they know who E could be. And Imril is following a cat down an alleyway.
Yeah.
How do you respond to?
You've been handed a mysterious note by a mysterious stranger who disappeared as soon as they appeared.
Well, Lindell would head to Thespus and he'd go straight to his favourite bar because he knows the information in loose lips and see what he overhears.
Hits up the local barkeeps, earwig on the local populace, see if he can ascertain any rumours or information there.
Yes, thank you for putting it more elegantly.
we'll go to Elvira first then. Just, I've not designed maps for every potential location you could have all chosen to go to. It's all going to be very theatre of the mind today. So Elvira goes to visit her parents and ask them what they may or may not know. Do your parents have names?
They do, but I can't remember them at the moment without scrolling through the big long backstory thing that I've written. So
That's fine. Well, for now, we'll just call them your parents for the purposes of dialogue. They will presumably greet you favourably. I assume you're on good terms with your parents. Without reading your backstory, I don't know. So I assume you're on good terms with your parents.
Yeah, I'm on good terms.
Cool. So they will greet you favourably, welcome you into their home, I'm guessing, or are they going to be performing?
They'll have been performing. I think I'll have got there earlier on, so I'll have met up with them before the show. And then they've gone and they've been up on stage and performed. So I think having got this note, once he finished the show, I'd have probably gone and spoke to them while we were still at the bar and been on my way from the bar.
Okie dokie. For the purposes of keeping things coherent and somewhat connected, we will say that the bar they were performing at is Lyrendel's favourite bar. So you two are in the same bar. You're talking to your parents that were performing. Lyrendel, I'm going to assume, is at the bar drinking.
So
Yes.
possibly, if Lyrendel's okay with it, as I turn back around from talking to my parents, maybe a bit too quickly, I bump into him and it causes us both to drop these bits of paper. And that's when we notice we both got the same note.
Works for me. If
okay?
that's cool with you two, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep.
Sweet.
Sweet. So you've both realised you've now got the same notes, and you're now presumably both talking to Elvira's parents about the potential origins of these notes.
Yeah.
We'll pause there.
My parents are telling me that, well, like you said, your name begins with an E. Are you sure you haven't done it yourself? We know you have these episodes. It is a possibility. They've been no help whatsoever.
Okay, brilliant. So they're currently suspicious as to whether or not you've sent this to yourself in one of your somewhat manic episodes. Presumably,
We've all done it.
Response to that of like, did you send me this note? And then walked into me and dropped another note? Because it's like, you've got an identical note. Maybe you wrote more of them and you have one of the ones that you've been sending to other people. Who knows? We will come back to that in just a moment. Imril, you followed a cat down an alleyway.
Mm-hmm. The cat then stopped to lick itself for a while. So
Yeah.
that obviously has other deeper meanings. But while waiting for further inspiration, she contemplates more on the content of the note itself. E is important. E is in leaf and tree. But east, it also could mean east. So she looks to the east, and E for eagles and high. And maybe looking up to the east, she can see the signs of a pub or a bar or something important that leads her to follow it, to find...
Is she wanting to look around? Is she wanting to perceive? Is she wanting to investigate? Is she wanting to look for anything specific, or is she just flightily following fancy and...
She's following the fancy as it comes along. If I can investigate the buildings around me to see if they fit in with the omens I am seeing, to lead me to any form of coherence into understanding this, then that's cool.
Cool. So yeah, you can have a look around. So you can roll a perception or an investigation. You choose which one you would rather use.
I do have a higher skill in one than the other. So do you want me to narratively
give? Are you glancing around, or are you specifically looking for signs?
Specifically looking for signs.
Then investigation,
which is not the highest one, but that's awesome. Still not bad. So 14. Yes.
Okie dokie. So you can sort of see scattered around on the floor, just all over the place, smudged, boot trodden, covered in mud, covered in bits of dirt and grit, flyers that appear to be advertising for a newly opened inn in the area. You can't quite make out what it says, but it's basically saying, come one, come all, to the latest local hotspot in Thespus, smudge, 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 as smudge, smudge.
And
So it starts with an E somewhere in there that you can see.
obviously,
That's the closest you can get to a clue at the moment.
and also the boots are smudged in an E shape. Yes, this is where I must go.
Mostly in a boot shape.
Yes.
If you want to look at it and see an
Yes,
E, I mean,
absolutely.
it's like ink blots. It's
Yes.
like a Rorschach test. It's
Everything is an ink
open to
blot.
interpretation.
That's her. So yes,
Cool.
this is a sign. She will follow it.
Cool. Benny and Beyond, you have gone to your booking agent. Does your booking agent have a name?
No, not our own. We're just going to the biggest booker in town.
Oh, so not the one that books you for gigs, just the
Yeah.
biggest one in town that you can find.
Yes.
Okay, so we will say then that you approach what would resemble, I guess, a talent office or a talent agency in Thespus, and would be greeted out the door by a guard. Obviously, you're not going to be welcome to just walk in. If you've not got an appointment, they're not just going to let you stroll in. So you come face to face with a guard.
Cool. Hey, my friend. Squealing
What?
Branches here. Squealing Branches. I'm sure you've heard of us.
Nah.
It's okay. I know you have. Anyway, we need to speak to your boss. I think we're being taken up to the big leagues, and well, we've been left this mysterious note, and we need to find out who's wrote it. They might have some ideas for us.
Is
What
your
is
name
it?
on the list?
Let's look at the list, and I'll tell you.
You tell me your name, and I'll tell you if it's on the list.
I'll turn to.
We don't have a screaming banshees on here.
Well, it'd be easy to find because surely we'd be at the top of the list. I mean,
Make
we're
the list
headline acts.
alphabetical. We've got Adams, Ants, Brian's, Bullfrogs, Collins, Crickets. There's a lot of animal-themed bands in Thespus. Don't know why.
No imagination, my friend. That's what it is. No imagination. But Squealing Branches, we'll be going in, please.
S. I've got Sonic Squirrels, Silent Sharks. No screaming benches, mate. You're not on the list.
This keeps on happening to us, Beyond. You know, we turn up to places, we rock the house down, and get no appreciation.
Is it because we keep changing the name? Maybe you've got us on one of our other names.
I mean, I was thinking the same thing. We were called something else last week. Can you remember what we were called? I mean, we like to change our name to keep people guessing who's there and surprise our fans. Maybe not the best way to do things, but we like to be unique.
We play secret gigs, don't we?
Yes, secret gigs, that's it, yes.
Are you Ian's Iguanas? Greg's
Yeah,
Drag?
that was. We did that one time.
Mate, I've got a list of bands here that are animal based, and I don't know who the fuck any of them are.
I'm alien farm.
No,
Give me some sort of fucking name on this list, and I'll let you in.
I think what my friend here, Beyond, said, I think we were the Iguanas.
Ian's Iguanas. We played that a couple of weeks ago.
You think?
We changed our name a lot, but it
don't
sounds
care.
familiar.
Right. Right.
Ian's Iguanas, here to see the boss.
There's an entry fee.
I'm sure the waiting audience will pay that. We don't do things for free, but what
This
entrance fee?
isn't a gig.
How much?
How much you got?
It's not the way a fee normally works, my friend. The fee is a set amount, and you tell us what it is, and we might pay it.
This fee's means tested.
How about I pen you a little song? Now, do you have a wife at home?
No, I'm gay.
Well, I tell you what, I can make you a little song that'll make your man's heart melt. Bjorn, hit the drums. And we will do a improv song on just on the fly.
That'll be a group performance, please.
All right, 20 for me.
11 for me.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, that's what 15 and a half ish as an average. So yeah, he'll take that. He'll be like, "You're all right. That was pretty good. Maybe you are. I don't care. 1 silver, and I'll let you in."
I'll flick him a silver.
Cool. He catches the silver, bites it to check that it's a real silver, because this is a town full of fucking shysters as well.
Yeah.
And then he will let you in to go and see the booking agent.
Come on, Bjorn. Stardom awaits us.
We're finally making it.
We're going.
So yeah, you go in. It's just a bit of a shithole, really. I mean, he's the biggest booking agent in town, but his office is still a dive. Probably puts all of his money into living in a giant mansion in the countryside somewhere.
Do you want to give us a name for the guy as we walk in?
Let's call him Mr. T. Why not?
That'd be Mr. T.
But you've already made a Booker T reference, so let's lean into it for you.
Booker T. As I walk in.
Who the hell are you?
We go by many names. You've heard of them all. I won't bore you with all of them. But
What
we're
do you
here
want?
now.
What do you want?
Do you recognize this name? And I'll slam the mysterious note down. I believe he wants to sign us up.
That's not a name. That's a letter. It
Your
just
name's-
says E.
Your name's T. Come on, man. Think about it. People have different names.
Yeah, it's spelled T-E-A-E.
I've never seen it spelled before. I just assumed it was a T. Never mind.
The other letters are silent. Have you ever met the word Q?
I know all the words. That wasn't a joke, Bjorn. We have to work on your timing, man.
He whips out his file of facts and just starts flipping through his list of contacts.
Give me an E. Give me an E. Come on, give me an E. Tell you what, that sounds like it could be a song there. Give me an E.
He pulls
Like
a
Junior Cat.
he pulls a little pack of pills out of his pocket because it's just reflex. He said, "Give me an E," and he just produces some tablets.
I will take one and... Well... Let's party!
Tom saves both of you.
13!
Willingly fail.
No. Good. No, and that one! Yeah!
Beyond's
That's
fine.
nice.
He's having a real nice time. Like, he's enjoying himself. You are tripping balls.
God, I could taste colours.
Well, right now you're fine, but in about 15 minutes you're gonna be screwed. But he will share with you that he has been recently contacted by an owner of a new establishment that goes by the name Lady Esmeralda. And she has recently opened an inn called Esmeralda's.
Thank you, T.
He'll give you directions to it. Whether you can remember them or not is probably up to Beyond.
Can I update my backstory now that I enjoy taking substances, but I am a super lightweight?
Yes, that is
After-
perfectly fine.
after that roll.
You can be a druggie, and I will now no longer make you roll con saves for taking intoxicating substances. You will just immediately be fucked up every time.
I love that.
Sounds good.
That is canon, and we are sticking with it. Cool. You've been given information and given directions to follow.
Come on, Bjorn, let's go.
You guys head off in
Spain
the
awaits
direction.
us. Thank you, Barkati!
You immediately start to feel very wavy as you leave.
Yep.
I'm sure that won't affect anything in the future. Cool. Elvira and Lyrindel, you were speaking to Elvira's parents. They suggested maybe she'd written it to herself.
I promise I haven't.
So we shall ascertain, presumably in the conversation, that somehow you'll be like, no, that's not my writing, and then you'll write something, and the writing doesn't match. As we will, skip over, it wasn't me, well, maybe it was you, but it wasn't me, but maybe it was you. Yeah, that's not dialogue. I'm not going to give them voices or anything like that. They are just going to speak to you regarding it, take you at your word that it wasn't you that's written the notes, because, yeah, they probably recognise it wasn't your handwriting anyway. I'm sure they'd have seen that often enough. They would presumably, as well as performers, be aware of a new inn that has opened and is scouting for talent. And they would also point you both in the direction of Esmeralda's, that is the newly opened inn in town. So you will also be given the information required, because I wouldn't think you'd need to persuade your parents to tell you something. They'll just share what they know with you willingly.
Yep.
They would also, I presume, as your parents, say, while you're in town, if you want to come home for a visit, have some tea, visit with. Do you have any siblings in your backstory or anything?
Not that I know of.
Any friends in town that you want to visit? Anything like that as part of your backstory?
No, I kind of left there at a young age and didn't really associate much with anybody because it was all theatre and singing. And
No, that's absolutely fine.
so yeah, on that note, I'd probably just turn around and to the parents like, no, told you, I'm here. It's only temporary. We can't do this again. Goodbye now. And then I'm going to look around at Leandro and say,
Lyrindel.
Lyrindel. I'm going to look at him and say, Leone, buy me a drink and we'll set on the travels together.
I'm just going to look at her, look at her parents, and go, she's your problem. You can bear tab.
Come on, Lucifer, let's go.
And I'll settle my own up and leave.
Okie dokie. Imril, we will say, presumably, in finding this note, you've then theoretically gone around town and asked about it. Use your hunting prowess and your rangery skills to track and determine a target location to go. So you all almost simultaneously find yourselves in this same sort of dingy, dark alley back street that we find on the screen now. It looks somewhat seedy in appearance, purely because it's off the beaten track. There's not much by way of natural light. We're into sort of late evening, getting close to sort of, let's say it works on a 24-hour clock, 11, 12 o'clock at night. We're getting close to sort of midnighty time. But sort of contrasting with the entirety of the surrounding area is a almost fluorescent inn that's lit up with colours and hues that most of you could probably never imagine to see in this sort of an environment. Like you'd expect to see them on the strip, but not in a dingy side alley somewhere out of the way. Benny would probably be in a coma with how bright and colourful it is because he is tripping major balls on the E that he took.
You see rainbows too, Bjorn? I see rainbows.
Keep following the drum beat.
Does it sound like drums?
I'm sorry. I'll try to play the more drum-like.
Above this brightly coloured, almost fluorescent building is a sign. It is upon, literally, it's a sign that says Esmeralda's. It's been hung with sort of perfectly brand new nails on perfectly brand new chains, complete opposite of the building that it's attached to. So it's a brand new sign. You can see sort of remnants in the wall of the fastenings for the old sign. So clearly, this is an establishment that's been taken over somewhat recently. So yeah, you see it. It's lit up. You can hear music coming from inside. There's obviously performers in there at the moment, playing up a storm. There's security on the door, as you would expect. This time of night, sort of nightclubish vibes. There is security outside. So there's two people stood next to each other. You've got a half orc and a bugbear just stood sort of big and menacing, sort of approximately 6 to 7 foot tall, both of them built like brick shit houses, standing on the door with a chest just next to them, with a sign above that says, "Deposit all weapons here before entering, 5 gold to enter."
Bjorn, I don't think they're gonna let me in, man. I am tripping.
We'll be fine. We'll just let's just remove all your weapons. Let's put them into the just evening, sirs. He's fine. He's really excited to go inside. We've got to meet E. Do you know E?
That's me just constantly sipping on my water skin at the minute.
Yeah, figured. We know it, yeah? Who's asking?
Oh, I got this. We got this note. We both me and Benny. We got these notes to see E maybe.
Are you on the list?
With a talent, yes.
9.
What name was it? Is it Squealing Banshees? Is that what we're doing?
Squealing benches!
No, you're not on the list.
Oh.
It's iguanas!
Is iguanas on there?
Yeah, they're playing now. You don't hear them?
We're in 2 places at once, Bjorn. What the heck is happening?
I don't know. How do we get?
Look, if you want to come in, just pay the 5 gold. Put your weapons in the box. Pay the gold. Go in. It's a club.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll do that. I'm sure he can reimburse us. It's not a problem. Here's your 5 gold, sir.
Each.
10 gold, sir.
I'll flick my 5 out and I'll place a dagger in the box.
Just a dagger?
Just a dagger, because as we discussed with the rapier, it is hidden in the microphone. So just a dagger, the only weapon that's visible on me.
Yeah, they'll still do a pat down, but they will find nothing.
I will place my rapier, shield, and 2 daggers in, but I shall definitely take my drum in with me.
Yeah, absolutely fine. They're only after your weapons, not your instruments. Presumably, the other 3 of you are also approaching at around about the same time and have heard the same conversation going on. It's 5 gold to enter, deposit your weapons in the box, and entry into the building is granted. Anybody wanting to do anything different as opposed to paying their way in and depositing their weapons?
Me.
Yep.
Sorry. Is there a side door?
Is there a side door?
I don't plan on bringing all my weapons in because I've got a warhammer. You can't hide it. I just want somewhere safe that I can stash it that's not in the box with all them lot, that I know where it is if I need to go back and get it.
Well, there will be a side door, yeah. There's got to be like an entrance for the band to go in. They're not all just going to pile through the front door and stuff. There'll be like a service entrance around the side for deliveries and stuff.
I'd want to try and go through the side door. Whether Leandro follows me or not is up to him, but I'd go around towards the side door.
I could probably be a distraction while that's going on.
So are you wanting to approach the front door? and communicate with the guards.
Yes.
We'll do guards first then, for anyone that's wanting to go and talk to the guards to gain entry that way, and then we'll go to the side door. So Imral's going through the front. Is Lyrindel going through the front, or is he going to try and sneak in the side as well?
Lyrindale's probably going to go through the front.
Cool. So you and Imral will approach, we'll say at the same time, basically, just because it's easier. And you'll be greeted with the same gruff, somewhat cockney, 7-foot tall guards going, "No," to see if you're on the list. And if not, it's 5 gold and deposit you up into the box.
Imral's not seen an orc before, or a half-orc, so she will stare at him. Your skin suggests the convergence of fallen leaves from 3 moons ago. I have a sign, and she's going to hold up one of the flyers that she found in the puddle, just like in his face. This is a sign. Am I meant to be here? Am I meant to be here?
I don't know. What's your name? Are you on the list?
I do not know of a list.
What's your name?
My name is Imral Nerith of the Watchers of the Deep Woods.
How do you spell Imril?
IMMRIL.
ICC.
Keep going. That's it.
Imril Nerith.
Of the Watchers of the Deep Woods. See, it is a sign, my sallow-coloured friend.
Yeah, you're on the list, and you go.
You are most auspicious, and I'm sure that there are great things in your future. And she will walk by him.
ADE is expecting you, in you go.
Oh, I knew it. I knew E would be expecting me. Who is E?
You kind of introduce yourselves as the Screaming Banshees, not by name.
I am too high to know what's going on.
Craig looked a bit confused as to why Cat was getting in. Like, you guys did not introduce yourself.
Oh, I got it.
And Imril's just going to attempt to walk straight through.
Yeah, they let you in. They're expecting you. You're on the list.
Cool. With my money and my weapons and everything.
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet.
Lyrindel, presumably having seen that.
Thought Lyrindale was going to give his name anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you're on the list, and you go.
Okay.
So the 4 of you are in. Elvira is attempting to sneak in through a side door. So round the side of the building. Obviously, it's just a normal built side of a building. You know, there's a couple of windows further up for the higher floors, higher stories, and it's just a door shut. So, you know, like Yale lock door, no handle. It opens clearly from the inside or with a key from the outside.
With a key from the outside.
But yeah, so you know, like a Yale lock where you just put your key in, twist, and put your door open, rather than having a handle that you unlock with a.
Is there many people there? Can I try lockpick it without them noticing?
There'll be a couple of staff, you know, outside on smoke breaks or whatever, just shooting the shit outside, having a bit of a chat, having a bit of a chill. Probably a couple of pissed up people letting pulls of their own sick and piss, because it's, you know, a seedy underbelly sort of area. So there'd be, I'd say, sort of up to half a dozen people just sort of dotted around. They're not really paying any attention. It's an alleyway. It's a side alley off of an alley in one of the seedier parts of town next to a nightclub. They're not really paying much attention to the comings and goings of random strangers in the area.
Right, okay. So I'll just go up to a staff member.
Cool.
I see outside and say, "Oh, side door, let me in, please. I've got a meeting and I don't think they're going to be happy if I'm late. I'm going to flash the paper at them and just like, come on, please, hurry this up. I don't have time to waste."
Well, if you're here for a meeting, there's a front door just round there. Security should let you in.
There's a front door full of a queue of people. I'm not joining a queue. I don't have time for that.
But if you're here for a meeting, then just go up to the front and tell them.
And have everybody in the queue sitting and shouting abuse at me as I walk past. I can't do that.
Oh, what's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
Elvira. I'm expected. Look, I've got a letter.
Elvira what?
Elvira undecided.
Right, okay. So she'll give a name, but you've not decided on the name yet. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you just see him sort of like fantasy message telephone call. Like,
Sending stone calls.
yeah. Got an Elvira out the back, wants to come in the side door because they don't want to queue up out front or get abused by the staff, like by the people waiting to get in. Says they've got a meeting with is she on the list? And then they'll get a message back. A B C E E L L L Elvira. Yeah, she's on the list. They're in. So yeah, the staff member will unlock the side door and let you in through the side.
Sweet.
Cool. So I will now move you all to the next one.
Yeah, I like doing things differently, but legally.
And you've all, through various means, found your way into the inn. Pop yourselves wherever you would like to be if you're in the main area.
Did I roll a stealth to you then?
You did, yeah.
Right, sorry, I'm on that little shitty laptop.
Your mom's on that little shitty laptop.
Oh, he's a handsome fella. That's the side door. I'm assuming I've come out somewhere over here.
Yeah, we'll say from the sort of the kitchen area. Yeah, you come through the side somewhere. Obviously, it's
In boring admin tasks, my token doesn't seem to be connected to my character sheet.
you should be able to remedy that. If we take a quick 5-minute comfort break, I just need to run to the loo.
Yep.
So if anybody wants to get a drink, go for a wee, whatever. If you've got anything you need to mess about with, play about with, do that.
Cool.
I will be back ASAP.
Can I just very quickly try and swipe a bottle as I walk past the bar?
Try and swipe a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, throw a sleight of hand and just see if you can steal something.
Yeah, my hands are on the wrong way round.
Yeah, you steal a bottle.
Perfect. I'm happy just walking around with this bottle.
Cool.
No, back in back.
Indeed,
Oh.
sir.
Yeah. So you all find yourself inside the inn.
I think me and Beyond and Benny have headed straight towards the stage and/or performing area.
Yeah. We'll just say the piano in the corner is actually a stage because obviously I didn't design it. It's just a drag and drop map. So yeah,
The
that's
best kind.
the stage. Yeah. So you guys have gone to the stage, presumably to watch the band that are performing, the Ian's Iguanas.
Yes.
Get a load of your competition, the people that you've been pretending to be for the last little while.
We may have performed as Ian's Iguanas. We've been by many names.
Cool. So as you've all entered, I'll just tell you what you see. So you all come through in your various directions. Obviously, Elvira's come out from sort of the servanty area here, presumably sort of trying to look like she belongs or not be seen at all. As she comes past, she'll
Casual, normal.
just casual, like, yeah, nonchalant. I'm supposed to be here, don't think nothing of it, blah, blah, blah. At the bar, you'll see a bugbear next to his half-ogre chum, who are having a heated discussion about what tastes better, halfling or gnome. Above the mantle, you know, it looks like sort of a folksy pub, rather homely, you know, rather just sort of on the folksier side. There's decorations all over the place, like a cast iron skillet just hanging above the hearth. A few commoners sat up on the sort of the mezzanine bar area just over to the side. And then you guys clustered at the bottom, and then just a very, very regal, out of place, elegant looking woman just sort of sat by the fire, with a nose in a book. What do?
Cool. I, on walking in, have not encountered anything like this before, so I've just found a quiet table. I don't know if there was food left from here from before. This is an empty table. Either way, I'm going to start eating it.
Yeah, we'll say there's some scraps on the table that were just there when you came in and you sat down and carried on.
Because they were arranged in the obvious way, which is the invitation to eat. So I've eaten.
You knew that was just there. It's like bar snacks that just chill on the bar. It's just there. If you want to eat half a chicken leg,
but the chicken,
it is on the table for
but
you.
the chicken leg was at the angle which assumes invitation.
Oh, I already hate your character. Hippy dippy bullshit, man.
Pretty much. I have no intelligence, no charisma, and very little wisdom or intelligence.
It's an interesting character choice, to say the least.
I know, right?
I'm wondering how long you can maintain it.
Not long. Really not long.
Honestly. As a very logical, factual, straightforward person yourself, I'm genuinely curious to how long you can keep this going.
I'm trying so hard not to be the face this time.
Just walk into every scenario. Hello, I'm here.
Hi, I'm Imril. No, done that one. Can't do that one.
I mean, the face, in theory, would be the bard. But he's currently busy tripping balls on E and watching a band because he made poor character choice.
I'm hoping to learn more from each of my colleagues as we travel.
I'm sure that is the case.
The guys are having a heated discussion at the bar.
Yes, they are having a somewhat heated discussion about what tastes better, gnome or halfling.
And what's the big guy saying tastes better?
He thinks that halfling tastes better. The bugbear thinks that gnome tastes better.
Awesome. And I've managed to swipe a decent bottle of beer or something, a decent bottle of something, haven't I?
Yeah, we will say that it's a bottle of undetermined spirit. So it'd be whiskey, rum, whatever.
Perfect. Can I just go and interrupt their conversation, if possible?
Yeah, sure.
Hang on, you said the big guy was halfling, didn't you?
Yeah, the big guy thinks halfling tastes better.
So I'm just gonna walk up. I'm gonna hand the bottle of alcohol that I've got to the bugbear.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna look at the big guy, just sit there, absolutely eavesdropping there. But I'm inclined to agree. Halfling stew ain't actually that bad. And I'm gonna hand the bottle of alcohol to the other guy who I didn't agree with.
Okay.
And see if they say anything back. I want to be friends with the big guy.
So the bugbear that's arguing with him that you've handed the booze to,
Yeah.
is going to take a swig of the booze you've handed him and go, no wonder you think halflings taste better. This stuff tastes like piss. Clearly you've got no fucking taste.
Clearly not. Each to their own. What about you, big guy? What's your take on this? And I'm going to take the bottle of alcohol off him and pass it to the big guy.
Well, he'll take a big pull of it and down about half the bottle in one swallow. Well, I agree with him that it does taste like piss. But you're all right that halflings do taste better than gnomes. They're a bit fattier, a bit more flavour. More of a mouthful for somebody like me.
Well, there we go. Have a good evening, gentlemen. Pleasure meeting you.
See, Dave, I told you I was right.
Hmm?
You just hear him say to his mate as you're walking away, see, Dave, I told you I was right.
I'm just going to walk off round the way and just slowly start making my way around. See if there's anybody else. It's more a case of I wanted to not so much introduce myself, but just speak to them so that if he does kick off, because he's the biggest guy in the room, that he might not kick off directly at me.
You're trying to befriend him in the event that if a fight does happen, he's less likely to hit you in the face.
Pretty much. That is pretty much exactly it.
That is sensible. It's a wise choice. Sensible idea.
It's a bit of a pain in the room. It's a bit of a pain in the room.
Cool. So yeah, you can wander around. I mean, there's a few tokens for people sort of dotted around, but obviously the place will be fuller than it looks. I just didn't want to stick fucking 40 commoner
Yeah.
tokens on the screen. So it's fuller than it looks. There's obviously the two bigger, scarier looking dudes that are the key focal points, and then the woman.
Would there be
Fire,
people?
Theon and Bennett are getting pissed. Imril's eating food. What's Lyrandel doing?
He's chilling at a table, picking at a chicken leg while observing what's going on in the room. Just like
So both you and Imril are foraging people's leftovers on the table. I presumed that Bjorn and Benny were getting pissed because they'd gone over to the stage, but that's obviously not what they're doing. They're there watching the band and figuring out if they know anything. I just went, oh, they're off getting pissed because they're musicians, and that's what I think musicians would do.
I mean, I imagine we would be having a beverage, whether or not I'll be drinking just water at the minute.
Are you going up to the
Oh,
bar and
water.
ordering a beverage, or are you sweeping one off the table as you walk by?
I'm still on the water skin. I'm just sipping water.
You're hydrating because you know that you've taken something and that you're feeling the effects. So you're staying hydrated like a sensible druggie. That's good. Has Beyond swiped a drink off a table, or has he been up to the bar and ordered?
Benny, do you want to? You don't want to? Okay, I'll go get a drink then.
Cool. So you approach the bar. You'll presumably pass by Elvira on your way there, whether you notice her or not. I mean, you've not met yet, to anybody's understanding. So whether you pay her any mind, do you notice her? I mean, does she look as she looked in the token? Is that her appearance just in general? That's what he would see as he walks past.
Yes, that is what he would see. So if he only sees boobs and starts staring at my boobs as he walks past, I might have something to say.
Oh, he'd notice
How
that,
would
and then he'd
Beyond
down.
head down?
Head down.
Is it a shy boy? He's
Yeah.
not going to be not your stereotypical. I mean, he's not even a bard, is he? He's a
He's not a
rogue
bard.
barian, or he's a rogue barian that just happens to play the drums badly, I assume.
He's proficient in it.
Proficient in drums, but very little charisma. One would expect for a barbarian rogue. Then again, you rolled like 19 for every stat, so. Cool. So you've walked past, not paying her any attention. You will be stood at the bar next to the two big dudes at the bar. So you've got like a bugbear who, again, somewhere between 6 and 7 feet tall, and a half ogre who's going to be about 14 feet tall. Arguing over what tastes better, no more halfling. Whether you want to interject on that conversation is up to you. Otherwise, behind the bar, I've not put a token on, but you'll just see. Well, in fact, you won't see anything. You'll just see a menu sort of fly its way over to you and land on the bar with a selection of drinks and a pencil, and you tick which drink you want, and then it'll fly across to you and land on the bar with a coin tray waiting for your payment, which will then fly away as well.
I'll tick just a mug of ale of some descript.
Mug of ale, cool. It'll say mug of ale, 2 copper. There'll be a coin tray. You place your coppers down. They float off, and then mug of ale just floats its way across to you, plonks itself down on the bar.
Excellent. I won't interject into their conversation because I won't be eating gnomes or halflings. Do they look? I assume I can see if they are armed or not, and or if they look like they're geared for fighting, adventuring.
I mean, they're wearing leathers and stuff, like, so they'll sort of have general sort of leathers on. They don't appear to be armed that you can see. I mean, the bugbear definitely doesn't. Well, I mean, they've got arms, but I mean, the bugbear doesn't have a weapon, and the half ogre is just sort of wearing what he's wearing, and he's got sort of like chain braces on. That's about it. Yeah, there's no weapons that you can see. But I mean, they don't look like the sort of people that would need a weapon if they were going to kick the shit out of you. I mean, if they were going to kick the shit out of you, they'd probably be able to do it unarmed.
They think.
They think, yeah. It depends. It entirely depends.
I just get my drink, go past. On the way back, if Elvira is still there, I might just. Do, do you do you work at the? Do you work here? We're looking for the manager. She wants to. I think she wants to sign Benny and I.
Oh, part of a band. What kind of music?
Whatever suits the mood and the occasion. We're
Flexible. I like that.
do you play? Do you work here?
No,
You know who does?
no, I'm looking for the owner as well.
Oh, that's funny. Have you been here before?
Nope, first time.
Oh, me too. Okay.
Right, so do we know who the owner is?
I thought it might have been you. I don't know.
You know the name?
E.
Just E. That makes sense now.
Oh,
Wonder.
what was it? I followed the bar. The bar was
Oh, E.
Esmeralda. Esmeralda.
Oh, right.
Esmeralda's bar.
I thought you were going to tell me her name was just E. That would have made a lot more sense, but Esmeralda. Okay, I don't know who that is, but I'm also looking for her by the sounds of it. I
Oh,
think.
if you do find her, I'm just over there with the handsome chap by the band.
I look over by the band and I guessing I just see a load of drunkards swaying and bopping and I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it'll be sort of your general. You're in a nightclub and you see a bunch of drunk people like. And
Pogo.
presumably, there'll be one there that carries his own microphone stand around with him.
Yep.
Yeah, I was just kind of because he said the handsome one of that. I'm just kind of gonna give it that little bit of a look down my nose, like, yeah, all right then.
Well, beauty is subjective. Just because Beyond thinks he's fit doesn't mean that you would.
Very true.
And all the time in this conversation, I keep trying to look at how tall is Elvira.
5'3".
So yeah, I'm having to look down at her, but I'm trying to every time I look down, look into the eyes, get distracted, and then look away.
We have to make up I have to make up my own fake stats, like roll for tact.
And then I'll head back over to Ben. Benny, you didn't want a drink, did you? There's some big fellas over there. You don't eat half or gnomes, do you?
I mean, I can't remember ever eating them. Why would you ask me such a question, Bjorn?
It's those big guys at the bar. They're talking about what they prefer to eat.
Ah, halfling or gnome? A halfling and gnome, side by side. Both tasty, but which one's the pride? The gnome's a bit dry, but the halfling, oh my, it might just have the edge after you've tried. Sorry, just off the top of my head there. Yes, I'm guessing halfling is what I'd go for.
And that lady over there, she's looking for E2.
I look across, and if I can figure out which one she is, if I'm starting to come around a little bit, I would walk
We'll say
over.
you're starting to sober up a bit now because the bit's run dry of you being off your tits on a pill. We'll say it's worn off now somewhat, so that you can be a bit more sensible again.
So, well, I mean, a bit more me. But so if Bjorn lets me off, I'd better go introduce myself. So I will head over and.
Good luck.
Hi, how are your boobs? I mean, how are you doing? I'm Benny.
Hi, Johnny. What can I do for you?
Call me anything you want, darling. I'm fine. I hear you was talking to my friend.
I'm surprised you have a friend. I mean, yes, your friend. I think I might have been. I've spoke to a few people today.
Well, believe me, I can be anybody's friend.
What can I do for you?
honestly, just enjoying the view, and my eyes are not making eye contact whatsoever. I am staring directly at the cleavage throughout the whole conversation. I don't even know what race she is.
In fairness, neither does she.
I am going to use my hand to tip his chin up a bit so he stops looking directly down there.
And as my chin goes up, you'll notice my eyes start looking down.
If there's
Sorry.
nothing else I can do for you, be on your way.
Hopefully, see you around. And
Yeah.
I'm happy to walk away after looking at some boobs.
Cool. We'll quickly fly back to Imril and Lyrindel because they've been sat grazing on scraps for a little while now. Anything else either of you would like to do?
Me?
Either you or Ali. Imril or Lyrindel, if you've got anything that the two of you would like to do, you'll have been presumably. I don't know if you would have been paying attention to what's going on, or if you've just been focused on the free grub that you found.
Depends how busy it is. So the big table here, are people sitting round it or is it empty?
Yeah, so it's somewhat busy all round.
Mhm.
Think Weatherspoon's at about 9 o'clock on a Friday night.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. What Imril is going to do is she has a journal and she is going to be making copious notes about everything that she is learning. It's John Winchester's journal.
Yeah,
That-
I know.
yeah, yeah. So she is observing, taking all this information in while grazing on the food. As she finishes her food, she's going to take one of the on the table. I'm guessing there's candles. One of them's probably burnt down. She's going to pick it up, smell it, put it in her pocket. Just
Yep.
save it for later, just in case.
Yep.
And move to another empty space to observe all the singing and the dancing and the ritualistic movements. Does it echo the forms of nature that she's seen in the forest? So either sitting at the table amongst people or just like awkwardly standing at the edge of the crowd, just writing notes about what's going on.
Okay, no problem. And what would Lyrindel be doing?
Lyrindale's going to hear the hassle that Elvira's getting from the bards. It's got Elvira, yeah, go.
Woof, woof. Thought I'd lost
He's
it.
going to try and summon her to his side.
Pretty much, because you want to
That's going to go well.
without getting stared at. Go to her.
I suppose there's worse things I could be doing.
Yeah, them.
I'm watching her walk away.
And at that moment, then, if that's what everybody's been up to for the first, I'm gonna say about 15 minutes of being in this pub / inn, you're all going to hear in your heads a very soft-spoken woman's voice saying, "If you're all quite done, and by the fire."
I'm gonna look around. I'm used to voices in my head, so it's nothing new for me. But
Yep.
I think it's just me that hears it.
And now you'll all notice that the woman that was sat by the fire with her nose in a book when you entered is looking pointedly at all of you, somewhat judgmentally.
Did you hear that, Bjorn?
Is there someone in my head? Is it in your head?
I heard something too, and I won't go into it now, but that gives me another great idea for a song. We're gonna have a full album by the end of this night, I'm sure.
Hey, Elvira, have you got voices in your head?
Who told you about that?
I mean, it's telling me I'm cursed.
She's paranoid. Don't want to make it any worse. I'm gonna just start walking down to where the voice is said to go. And then obviously seeing that there's only one person there sat in front of the fire, I'm just gonna look at her and go, E. Couldn't even write a full name.
And I've
Well, part of the challenge is for you to find out who I am. I require your assistance. A small test was not beyond your capability. If you can't find out who I am, how could you possibly hope to help me?
Who I am. Well, if I found you, so what do you want?
I require your assistance, all of you.
I found it remarkably easy to find you. It was so clearly signposted.
Oh, there's more.
I sent out about 20 letters, and you're the first 5 people to have found me.
I'm going to look over at who everybody else is. Notice Benny. I'm just like, oh.
He's smiling as big as he can right at her as she looks at him.
Is he doing so lasciviously still?
No, this is more cheeky.
So he's no longer just staring directly at boobs?
No. He's now just looking at her with really cheesily, cheeky smile.
I'm going to assume that Lyrindel will have gone over as well, and Ali's just not moved his token because he's not sat at the computer.
I was doing it.
It's a Scottish thing. It's a Scottish thing. They can't move their own tokens.
No, no.
I've moved him across anyway.
Come on, Leon, hurry up.
It's Lyrindale, get it right.
Sorry, I'm dead.
God. Used to a lot more respect in this.
Again, if you're all quite finished.
One second. Bjorn! Bjorn, get over here, man. I think we're signing contracts.
I have no wish to sign your band.
Oh.
I have a job that needs doing. I sent out letters to local adventurers. You're the first 5 to respond. My sources telling me that one, if not all of you, is probably a little bit hard up for cash, but well skilled. And I would like for you all to do me a job.
What kind of job do you need doing?
Wait then, let's get more important questions out of the way. How much are you paying?
That depends upon the quality of your work. Reward will be manyfold.
We're gonna be rich, Bjorn.
Beyond our beliefs.
And I'm just watching all this interaction between everybody.
Anyway, to get down to detail, brass tacks. I do not normally purvey establishments such as an inn. I was the leader of a traveling carnival. Was very affluent, made me lots of money. However, some of my prize exhibitions were stolen, and I want them back. My sources indicate that the 5 of you, amongst the other many people I wrote to and was admittedly hoping for others, are well suited to these sorts of tasks, and I would request that you undertake them and find my missing items.
Please.
Quick question. Several questions. What is missing? What's a carnival? And was the moon full at the time?
Does blink. A very slow blink. Like,
How many she's going to count the blinks. Interesting.
she will look first to her and go, "Oh, apologies, where are my manners? I wish for you to retrieve my items, please. Although I am paid, so..."
I didn't hear the last thing that you said because of his sneeze.
It's like, "Oh, well, I am paying, so I didn't think the please was required. It's implicit that this is a job, not a favour."
Manners cost nothing, no matter how snooty you are.
My dear, my time costs everything.
And you chose to spend it with us, so we are honoured.
I was forced to spend it with you, as you're the 5 that responded. You are not the 5 at the top of my list, yet you are the 5 that are here.
And
Ergo,
that
I
in
must make do
itself-
with what I have.
And that in itself is auspicious.
Makes us feel real wanted.
It must be. Then we must have come together for a reason to retrieve your stolen items from the carnival. And we will do so.
Do you want the job? Yes or no?
Yes.
Do
One-
we have a choice?
Yes, you're free to leave.
I shall see you next campaign.
For what?
I'm just going to sit down on the chair nearest, so I'll pull a chair up nearer and just sit there and go, right, cut it straight. I've never met somebody whose attitude is as down and disrespectful as my own. So, you want me to pair up with these people?
Join together as a party or undertake the tasks alone? Whichever one of you brings me back the stolen items, whether it's solo or together, will receive the payment. You don't have to do it together.
What are the items? What are the details?
Well, they're not so much items as exhibitions.
That is-
Claude, my favourite storm giant. He was taken from me.
We'll retrieve
Uh,
the people.
A what now?
Storm Giant, keep up there, lady.
Storm
Have
giant.
these people gone willingly? It wouldn't surprise me.
I have no idea how they were removed. They were part of the carnival, and then the carnival wrapped up for the day. I retired to my tent. I came to in the morning after sleep and such and so on, and half of my staff were missing, along with a large collection of magical items and trinkets.
Quick question.
Okay,
Quick
now
question.
go.
Was it raining?
I don't know.
Troubling.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Storm giant.
Yes.
Anyone else?
Well, there was Claude, my favourite storm giant. There was Bonesley, my skeleton dog. He was always fun. Here's a roster, and she'll just hand you a collective list of everything and everyone that's gone missing.
Sweet.
All of which I have not written down or planned, but there is a large collection of missing items, missing people, missing things, and such and so on.
Last known whereabouts?
Michael,
Carnival, I would imagine. Come on, keep up.
And where was the carnival?
And what is a carnival?
And travel.
I'll fill you in with all the details later, dear friend.
a carnival is like a circus. It is a travelling performance where we put on shows which use magic and creatures and stuff and things, and people pay money to come and watch for entertainment reasons.
Ah, I see.
Like a play, but more grandiose.
I see. She
have
has
music
no
no
idea.
idea.
No idea.
You sure you don't need any extra help in the carnival? Any musicians?
Potentially, once I get my carnival back, I'm missing half of it. I can't possibly hope to perform on the road with half a staff and most of my equipment missing.
How successful was your carnival?
We were the leading carnival in the entire land. I'm surprised none of you have heard of it.
I think I've heard of it.
You would have all have heard of Lady Esmeralda's carnival.
Yeah.
Would I have?
Apart from you, because you lived in a woods. And they didn't make it to the woods.
No.
Anyone that lived in and around any sort of city would have probably heard of it
I've been to it.
maybe even been to it,
Yeah.
but it's sort of well renowned for popping up randomly with no indication that it's going to be there. It's just you go to bed one morning, you wake up, and boom, there's a carnival outside.
So, last known location?
Well, we're in Thespus now. It will have been somewhere on the road between Thespus and Calibrite that they were before this happened. Obviously, we don't have a world map at the minute. Thespus is down here, Calibrite's over there, so it'd have been somewhere in the middle. And then you've got Aethernia and Battlespire over here, Industrious up there, and the Everwood over here. So yeah, it's somewhere sort of in the centre, but off to the left.
Two
If you
more.
were looking at this way.
Well, I can't imagine you made much money in Calibrite. Not with those stiffs. They don't like that sort of entertainment.
You'd be surprised what I can convince people they enjoy.
Touche. I have the same talent.
Two more questions before I leave you be.
Mm-hmm.
Any other details we need to be aware of that might help us? And do we get partial payment up front to cover any costs that we might acquire on the way?
Good question. I don't even.
I will answer your second question first. No. And in answer to your first question, here is a dossier on every bit of information that I have until, again, hand you a document that explains everything you might need to know, which I will tell you at a later date. There will be things and stuff, but it'll mostly be surrounding the fact that when she went around investigating the goings on the day after it had happened, the witnesses and stuff that were left around would have reported that there were sightings of fiends and the undead when they came to. Like, so there was like the smell of rot, like zombie bodies had been around. You know, there'd been lots of people that are very perceptive and sort of know what these sorts of things are. So there would have been clues and evidence and stuff, and she will tell you what she.
That my eyebrows kind of raised up. It's perked my interest. Now I am interested in going on this journey. Not for her, just because I'm a grave cleric and the undead fascinate me.
And you've heard undead things.
Something.
And I presume Imril will be intrigued because she heard the word fiend.
Yes. And she's just standing in the middle of all of this, writing down notes, looking through the dossier.
I heard money.
You will be paid.
Can I?
Have we been signed?
Well, I was going to cast a spell. I was going to cast message and speak to Beyond.
Yeah.
And just be like, we might be able to set up our own carnival. Think of the money we would make if we capture these things for ourselves.
I like it. That's a great idea again, Benny.
Can Benny roll me a perception check, please?
I would like to say that Benny, perception check. So yeah, Benny will speak to Beyond like this regularly, but perception, it is just a 12.
You think you see her eyebrow just sort of crop up when you message that to Benny, just for a split second, and then drop again.
Cool.
She spoke to you all telepathically.
Yeah. Fine by me.
Yeah, I'll roll these papers up, put them inside my jacket pocket or something.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm happy to do this. It's got parts that perk my interest. Reward at the end. Be pretty decent. Sure, why not?
Lovely. One final test. Well, one needs to know that you can find. It's me, I'm doing a combat, shut up. and the room will go eerily silent. She will crack her knuckles, stretch out, lift her arms up, and just. And you will see the majority of the people in the room just wink out of existence and disappear, leaving the 4 people that you can see on the right and the 2 big dudes that you can see by the bar.
Yay.
Because I want to do a fight, and yes. So she wants to test your combat prowess just to, well, she/me in brackets,
Mhm.
wants to find out what you guys are like in a fight so I know how to balance for future sessions.
That's a good idea.
It's tactical just so I know how future fights are going to be and what I can and can't throw at you. So we are going
With
to,
no
for the
weapon.
first time of the new campaign, roll
dear.
some initiative.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
I'm going to use my Dread Ambusher to give me some extra initiative. Oh, didn't need it.
Why am I whispering?
You can turn it off, Darren.
I don't know. I think it's because you're shy.
Have you got your character sheet set to always whisper?
Probably.
With tits like that, she can't be shy.
Right, my region feat.
Yes.
So adding modifier to my initiative roll.
Yes.
Can I do the action for it when I actually take my action, as opposed to just screaming an initiative and then it's a war cry?
Yeah, so you enter a fight by going, and that lets you fight faster for reasons. That's just how it works. So basically, just add whatever your modifier is to your initiative. So whenever you roll initiative, the assumption is that you've realised the fight coming and gone and charged into the fight. So it's an automatic thing.
Okay, I just did.
Whenever he does that, Bjorn tries to harmonise with him. Oh!
Oh.
So I've got a 12, an 11, and a 2. I need. Does the new thing come with an initiative tracker I can just write on? Because I don't have a pen and paper.
There should be, but I've not used the initiative tracker before. So there will be one on here.
Scott, are you last?
Me, I rolled a 19,
I'm last.
which, you know, I rolled first and thought, 19, going quite early on. And then I thought, fuck you all.
8.
I rolled a 14.
Has anybody got a pen and paper to hand? Because I do not. That can just write it down for me.
Yep.
Oh.
I do. What do you want me to write down?
So we've got Imril with a 23.
That's not even including my proficiency as well on top of
Yeah.
that.
Then
But nobody else has rolled that high, so we'll just say it's 23. Beyond with a 20.
Yep.
Benny with a 19.
Yep.
Then Lyrindel with a 14.
Yep.
Then you've got just right Ogre with a 12.
Yep.
Bugbear with an 11.
Yep.
Elvira with an 8.
Super.
And then the commoners with a 2.
Cool. Yep, got that written down for you.
Sweet, thank you.
I'll send it to you if you want, just so you'll have a copy of it on your phone if that's easier, so you could track.
No, it's cool. I'll just trust that I've sort of remembered, and if not, I can scroll up. So that'll be Imril to kick us off with the first fight of the campaign.
Whoop, 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 whoop. First combat. So I'm using my Dread Ambusher. So I'm going to use my bow to take a shot at the ogre. I pull the bow from my back.
Yep.
Whisper along the arrow for good luck, obviously. Shoot my longbow. So that's a hit. That's 12 piercing and plus on the if that attack hits. Oh, that's the additional one. I have an additional turn on my first turn, and if that one hits, I take it takes extra damage. So I'm gonna use my skill to take another longbow.
Yep.
So 16.
Yep, hits.
So that takes 10 plus another 1d8. And that's...
26 total damage.
Yep. And that's what I'm going to do to start with. And I think I'm going to move a little bit behind the table. Not that we're using kind of cover or half cover, but just for flavour, I'm going to duck down behind the table.
Yeah, no problem. Imril didn't need to sneak a bow in. She was on the list, so they let her in with everything that she had on her because they were expecting her.
And I didn't have to pay either.
She didn't have to pay neither because she gave her name and they let her in. So Imril, Lyrindel, and Imril, Lyrindel, and Elvira are fully armed and have paid nothing. Benny and Dion have got what they've got.
Talent.
So, Beyond to go next.
Looking a bit confused that everyone's suddenly turned around looking very aggressive at us and the room's emptied. But he'll pull his sleeve up, reach for his tattoo underneath his sleeve. Kin strong! Kin strong! And let out a rage.
Cool.
And then he will launch himself over the table, literally jumping,
Cool.
to land at their feet, and then recklessly attack with his ram attack.
Okie dokie. You attacking the half ogre or his mate?
Oh, his mate.
You going for the bugbear?
Yeah.
Cool. That will hit. For 13 damage. Lovely, lovely.
Bonus action was to rage, so that'll be everything.
Cool. Benny to go next.
Seeing which one Bjorn is attacking. So which was it? The little guy, the bugbear.
Yeah, he's not little in any, but compared to his mate, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they're going for the bugbear, yeah.
So I will look at the bugbear and just say, you remind me of Rapunzel, but the only thing you let down is everybody, and cast vicious mockery.
Cool. That's the DC 14 wisdom save for the bugbear.
Yes.
Not overly wise. Fails, takes 4 points of psychic damage and feels bad about himself.
And I think then, is it next attack? I gets to take the D4 away from any damage it does.
Disadvantage on the next
attack
roll.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
disadvantage
it,
on his next attack. Yeah.
So that's his way of defending his mate. Stops him attacking.
Yeah, not a problem.
As a bonus action,
Mm-hmm.
would you allow me to throw something to Beyond?
You get a free item interact, so in theory, yes, you can use an item. So if that's to pass it across, yeah, I'm fine with that.
I'm gonna pull out the rapier from my microphone stand and throw it towards Beyond and say, "Catch, Beyond!"
Okay,
Catch it!
Catch a rapier.
Yes.
What would you like me to roll for
Dex
catching?
save to catch a rapier.
A deck save. I can do
Yes,
that.
please.
I'm assuming I don't have a. If it's I have advantage on deck saving throws. It's something I can see.
So yeah. I mean, you're back to him. You're back a bit to him.
I did shout him before I throw it.
Yeah, it's the danger sense, isn't it? So it's like you see it coming. So you've kind of been shouted, turned, and there's a rapier flying at you. I don't know that danger sense would apply directly. If he was looking straight at you and you went, "Catch this," sure, because he knows it's coming. But he's just been shouted, spun around, and there's a rapier flying across the room towards him. So I would rule no advantage on that one. Purely because your back was to him at the time. Oh, you didn't need it. So it yeah, you catch it. It's almost like you guys do this all the time. You probably do. I'm sure you've been in your fair share of scraps. And you're used to him just shouting you and throwing swords in your direction.
The bugbear wants
so
a
yeah,
HP
you catch it.
back. Because I shouldn't have sneak attacked. I did not have a finesse weapon to hand.
That's the point. What did you hit him with?
A ram.
It's hard,
rammed him,
maybe.
Yeah, so it's one.
So,
hit
what
point
is it? 1 HP back.
Yes.
Oh, you feel so much healthier for that extra 1 HP.
It's a thing we both do. He rams with his horns. I'll leave the rest for you to fill in yourselves.
Cool. Anything else for Benny?
No, that's it. He'll stay where he is, but yeah.
Sweet. Lyrindel.
Computer says no. I am going to cast Tasha's Mind Whip on the big ogre dude.
Cool.
DC 13 spell save, intelligence save.
DC 13 intelligence save. Well, with his -3 to intelligence, I'm sure this will go well for him.
No, it's not DC 13. See,
That's a 15.
fucking suck. Fuck your low levels.
Is it half damage on a success?
Oh, fucking. Yeah, I don't think it is. I think it.
Just press show spell description and it'll. There we go. Fail save.
Yeah, on half.
Successful save as much damage, none of the other effects. So 6 damage.
Damage. Woo!
Cool. Anything else for Lyrindel?
No.
Sweet.
That
And
comes
it's their guy. It's those guys' his turns, and they've got an angry satyr in front of them.
He's just exploded.
Now, the bugbear has no weapon because he was disarmed, obviously, when he came in. So he's going to just make an unarmed attack against you. So that is going to be.
Has advantage, but has disadvantage.
Yeah, has advantage but disadvantage somehow. So it's just the 14.
That does not beat my armor class.
It does not beat your AC. He does have a friend flanking. I haven't determined flanking rules as of yet. So for now, we'll say there are none until I can figure out what I want to do with flanking. For now, we will just pretend that flanking doesn't exist. So that'll just be the 14. I don't think there's anything else a bugbear can do. Doesn't surprise anybody during the first round of combat. No, that's fine. So the bugbear misses. I don't even know if he was first. I just know they were next to each other.
Ogre 12, Bugbear 11. So next to each other makes a difference.
Okay. Oh, yeah. It's just they go at the same time. Now, the ogre will unravel one of his chain braces, which look like armor, but is actually big, long, fucking heavy chain. Because he's crafty like that, despite being a stupid idiot. And he is going to use his chain smash attack. So essentially, he's going to whap you with a big chain.
With advantage.
With advantage.
Is he left-handed or right-handed?
Undetermined. I think he's probably ambidextrous because he's got chains on both wrists.
Because if he's
So probably ambidextrous.
to the bugbear.
So that is a 24 to hit.
Tits.
But you mean you got to take half damage anyway because you're ages. So that will be cool. Right. So that is 14 bludgeoning, half to 7. So 7 points of bludgeoning damage, and I need a DC 14 con save, or you're not unconscious for 1 minute.
Oh.
15.
I don't think I have advantage, but
Put it with a 15 anyway, so that is fine. So you pass the con save. You're not knocked out. You just take 7 points of damage, and then he does not recharge that, so he can't do it again on his next turn. Next is Elvira.
I am going to just have a little spin around on my seat, twist up my hand, and mutter under my breath, and I'm going to cast Bane on both of them.
Okay.
That's a charisma saving throw.
Charisma saving throws. What's your spell save DC?
It's only a 14.
A 14. So charisma saves on a 14. So that's a 6. And a 7. So they both fail.
Fail.
So they're now baned. So
They take
any attack roll or saving throw for the next minute, they reduce it by a d4.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then I'm just gonna, as a free action, pour myself reach on the bar and pour myself another drink.
Yeah, that's fine.
On the bar stool. I'm going off the method as far as they're concerned. I've not interacted with the fight yet because I don't think they know that's happened.
They're not smart enough.
And then are these people over here in it as well, or is it just the big guy, these two?
No, they'll be in it as well, but they're last in the turn order. They're only commoners.
Okay, well over here, I'm going to use my bonus action to manifest my spiritual weapon.
Okie doke.
Yeah, spiritual weapon, and that makes an attack as it goes, doesn't it?
As you cast it, it can make an attack, I believe, yep.
Yep, so I will just do that on... Where are you? On the commoner that's there next to it.
Cool.
Can I ask, as Ben is there, what would the spiritual weapon look like? Or do you want to determine that next time?
I'll determine that next time. I like the idea of everybody sees it as different things. But essentially, it's more likely going to be a very gothic cross.
Cool.
No problem. Yeah, that hits, and that commoner is unconscious. We're going to say there's some sort of non-lethality spell over the building.
So that's it for me. I'm just going to carry on sitting there on the chair, drinking away and watching everybody.
Okie dokie. Back to the top of the round with Imril.
Okay.
No, commoners. Sorry,
Ooh.
commoners.
Commoners, yeah, commoners.
One unconscious commoner. 1, 2. I mean, the only person that's even remotely close enough would be Imril. 3, 4, And there's only one of them that can actually get close enough to you.
Mhm.
So the others will just move over. And the one that can actually get to you is just going to swing at you blindly with a club. That's an 18 to hit.
That will hit.
And that is for 1 whole bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
As they effectively bonk you with a stick. I'm going to say club, but what it is, it's like a chair leg.
Mhm.
They've just somehow appropriated a chair leg and used it to bonk you on the head. Because obviously they wouldn't have come in with weapons, so they've just sort of pulled a chair leg from a chair and used that to donk you on the head.
Cool.
Because obviously in a bar fight, improvised weapons are a thing.
Mhm.
Now we're back to the top of the order.
Yes.
Cool. I am going to cast a spell that we may not have seen before. Psych! It's Zephyr Strike. No, Psych. Zephyr Strike.
That's what we've not seen before.
I know, right?
I've never seen that one before.
Yeah. So I don't get attack of opportunity. My speed increases, and I give myself advantage on 1 weapon attack on my turn that deals an extra 1d8 force damage on a hit. So I am going to draw my bow and attack the ogre again with a longbow attack.
Mm-hmm. With advantage, you said?
Oh, yes, with advantage. So that's a 20.
In the interest of full disclosure, you didn't need the advantage, and it says you can do it once before the spell ends. So if you want to save that advantage, you can do.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was prompting you to use your advantage, but that's unfair because you don't have to because you hit with a 15 anyway.
Cool. Well, in that case, I am going to... it's 10 piercing, and I'm going to add the 1d8 on this.
Sweet. So that's 15. He looks very, very unhappy.
And I am going to move round the other side without provoking the attack of opportunity that the spell allows me. And that's my bonus action and action.
Brill. Beyond.
I am just going to hit the bugbear with the rapier.
Cool.
Recklessly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Is
I
that...
didn't tell you that he was wearing adamantine.
Everybody's wearing adamantine.
Every single one of my creatures, they all wear adamantine on. No, yeah, that hits. That hits for the first crit of the session.
Woo, and the campaign so far, I think.
Yeah, and the campaign so far, yeah. So that is 18.
I want my sword back.
He is also now rendered unconscious.
Can I turn to the ogre?
With the new crit rules that I've not put in the house rules, that would have actually been 8 plus 3 is 11 plus 19. That would have been 21 damage. Because crits are now working that if you get a crit, it's max damage plus a roll.
Nice.
I'm
Just to make crits feel a bit more cryptic. I've just not typed it into house rules, but I'll put it in there at some point.
There is a way, I think, to do that on Roll20, so it will do it for you as well.
There'll be a way. I'll figure it out
Yeah.
at some point. Yeah. But for now, yeah, that would have been 21 lovely, lovely points of damage, or something like that.
You're next, big boy.
He looks down at his mate as you've knocked him over. Die! because all of my NPCs get traditional, stereotypical, boring English names.
And I think that's the end of my turn.
Sweet. Benny.
I have to hear Beyond say that. I say, yeah, it's Big Boy's turn. I think we're gonna rinse and repeat at the moment. So yeah, look at the half ogre and just be like, you look like a giant's genitalia fell off and grew limbs, you ugly bastard. Wrong one, and cast vicious mockery.
Cool. DC 14 Wisdom.
Oh, I rolled max damage on my vicious mockery twice.
So with his -2 to Wisdom, I'm sure this will go really well. It's an 11, so he takes 4 points of damage and feels like he looks like a giant's cock.
And then, to show off, I'm gonna look at Elvira and be like, "You're looking really good over there, but be careful with those jugs as she's drinking these ales, and bardically inspire her." As a bonus action, and then end my turn. That's everything.
Oh shit, I did have to attack her. I wasted it.
Ooh. Lyrindel next.
So I'm going to cast Ice Knife on the big dude.
Cool. Range spell attack. 16 will hit. So that's 3 piercing and a DC 13 dex save or take 2 cold.
Yes. I don't like low levels.
I love it.
They have
He got a natural 19 on his dex save to avoid the cold damage.
not that it matters that much, but don't forget they have minus a D4 from
Bane.
spell saves.
Even if he rolls a 4, it'll still be a 15. So, yeah, that's fine. I appreciate you reminding me of that. Thank you very much.
That's why I said it matters, but
No, I appreciate you reminding me. I won't bother rolling the d4 because it'll still be above a 13, so that's fine. But thank you for keeping me honest, because I did forget. However, you've thrown that at the big guy, and Beyond is within 5 feet, so DC 13 dex save or take 2 cold damage.
If you don't get it, you don't deserve to.
I did it.
Oh, you did it. And you, yeah, with advantage. Yeah, I mean, Ice Knife will be something with a verbal component or something. I'm sure you'll have seen that one coming somehow.
I have a magical resistance as a satyr, so I get advantage
Of course
on
you
saving throws
do.
against all
Yeah,
spells.
of course you do.
Oh my god, that's so broken.
Yeah, I
I
forgot
get
about that.
to talk
I forgot
nice,
about that with satyrs when you asked if you could, when you said you were being a satyr. I completely forgot they had that ability. Fantastic. That won't be a pain in the ass at all.
Plus, it doesn't help that he didn't roll underneath a 28 on his stats, so...
No, that also doesn't help. It's like I'm a barbarian, so if I rage, I take half damage from everything. Also, I'm resistant to all magic, so can roll saves twice.
Yeah,
You
Craig,
made
that
this character,
sucks.
Craig, or did Ray make this character for
Sounds
you?
like I made it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When he asks for magic items and he asks me for adamantine armor or a mantle of a cloak of displacement.
I've got a way around the cloak of displacement. It's fine.
So have I. It's called it not existing. So he's taking the damage. He's very much almost dead. Not quite though. It is, however, now his turn. So he's got to roll a d4 off of his attack, which is going to be who's within 10 feet? Elvira's within 10 feet. Lyrindel's within 10 feet. Beyond's within 10 feet. He's going to use his chain sweep attack. Because that's going to get potentially 3 of you. He's not directly targeting Elvira. She just happens to be within 10 feet whilst he's whipping this chain around himself. So he's not walking over and punching her in the head. He's just swinging the chain around, and she's within range. So that is a DC 14 deck save from all three of you.
You get a D6, Elvira, for Bardic Inspiration still.
What's Bardic Inspiration get me?
An
It's a
extra D6 to your roll.
I've assumed I can see it coming and
So
advantage.
so you've got a 9, roll a D6 and add it to your 9.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't roll the 11. It's bloody laptop.
Sorted.
No, it's not. It's 9 plus.
Plus whatever you roll on a D6. So an 11. So that's a fail.
I will use my inspiration then that you said we all start with.
Yeah, that's fine.
Do you want me to take that 17 or roll again?
No, take the 17. You've already rolled it. That would have been your second roll that you'd have got, and then you wouldn't then add 2 to that. But it's a pass, so that's all you need. That's fine. You don't take that. Be on pass. So just Lyrindel to roll a deck save then.
Ah!
Do you want to use your inspiration?
Yeah.
Well, it's still a fail. What I will say is you have advantage automatically on,
I didn't
and you
realise.
say you want to use your inspiration. I'm taking whatever the second number is.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just taking fucking.
But no, it's fine. Will, it's still a fail, so it doesn't matter. And I hadn't specified that beforehand, but I prefer that auto roll advantage is off, so that we cannot have that problem for.
Yeah, I've just fucking taken
It already rolls twice, so it's like there's your inspiration roll done for you. That's not a problem now though, because it's still gonna hit you. So on a failed save, blah blah blah, successful, half damage and knocked prone. So it's a D8 plus. So that'll be 7 plus 4 is 11. So 11 to Lyrindel. You're down.
No.
I thought you said you were down.
A wizard. Gosh,
I'm a wizard, Harry.
So it's 11 to Lyrindel, which would be halved to 5.5, rounded up to 6 for Elvira and Beon. So 6 to Elvira, 3 to Beon because of the fact that he is raging. So 3 Beon, 6 Elvira, 11 to Lyrindel, and then for Lyrindel that failed, that is a DC 14 deck save or be knocked prone.
Quick question.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
Do I roll anything to keep concentration, or?
You took what? 6 damage. Concentration is a DC 10 con save. I think that's how concentration works. Half the damage.
It's a 10 or half the damage, whichever
10
is
or
highest.
half the damage if it's higher. So it's a DC 10 con save to maintain concentration on.
Yeah, no, I've got that.
What were you concentrating on? Bane, right? Yeah, of course. Which didn't affect him because that wasn't an attack roll, right? Yeah. Yeah. So Bane drops. So, but I mean, I imagine he's going to drop very quickly soon anyway because it is now your turn.
Now my turn.
Yes.
I'm going to spiritual weapon another commoner at the other side of me.
Yeah. Any preference? Top one or bottom one?
Top one.
Cool.
Keep him tip top.
Benny notices it's the one nearest to him.
It's my bonus action, so.
Yeah, that'll hit, and that renders that commoner unconscious with all 4 of their HP.
And then, so, how's the big guy looking?
Very, very, very bad.
Is it possible? I don't know how I'd go about doing it, and if it's strength, then I'm going to suck at it. But what I'd like to try and do is get the end of his chain, wrap it round his neck, and then cast mending on the chain so it fixes itself together and chokes him.
That's dark.
Is that possible, or is that just not doable?
So you want to grapple his chain, wrap it around his neck, pull it tight, and cast mending
so the chain fixes to itself.
so that he's choking on his chain.
Yes.
I would say it's possible, but it's 2 turns because the grapple would be your first turn, so you've got to get a hold of the chain and keep a hold of it, and
Yeah.
then on your next turn, wrap it round his neck with your probably your bonus action, and then it's your action to cast mending to fix it. So if
Right.
you want to try it, sure, it'd be.
No, I'll leave that then until I get 2 turns together because it's something I'd want to do all in one, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
I'd save a turn and go back to it. So if it's okay, instead I'll just cast Cold Death.
Oh,
On the big dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, he's probably going to be out cold after this anyway. Wisdom saving throw, DC 14, or it's a D12 necrotic.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to fail the wisdom save. Yep. So that's a D12. If you roll anything above 5 or over. Okay, he's on 1 HP. He has 5 health left.
So with that last reaction, I will put myself in the firing line and go right over to him, put my hand on his shoulder and go, we could have been friends, man. We could have been friends.
I'll be your friend.
Ugh.
They'll just look at you and go, I don't even know why we're fighting. Because obviously they didn't choose to have this fight, it was thrust upon them.
And they didn't start it either, to be fair.
No. They didn't get to act first in the turn order. She said, have a fight. And then Imril just went, whang.
I did that.
Cool. Right, it's the 2 remaining commoners' turns now. That one can get to you, and just because I'm going to say so, that one can get to you as well. So 2 of them are going to try and club you with their chair legs that they've appropriated as weapons. So a 17 and a 9. So presumably a 9 won't hit Benny.
No, Benny is 14.
That a 17 will?
Yep.
2 whole bludgeoning damage to Benny as he gets stomped on the head with a chair leg.
That is so mean. Why do you have to be so mean?
I mean, these commoners are fucking hard as nails, mate. Hard as nails, these commoners. But that's all they can do. So we're back to Imril at the top of the round to presumably close out this combat.
Yes. So the ogre, is he still standing?
He's got 1 HP.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot him then.
You're aiming for an 11 on the AC.
higher low than 11.
Yeah, that'll do it.
11.
And yeah, that'll do it. So he is also rendered unconscious through various magics and stuff and things.
Cool.
Quick, murder him.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do.
Beyond?
Beyond in what's going to become normal fashion is going to leap over the table to the other side.
And ram a commoner.
That's my boy.
There, let's
You turn around and just saw 2 average Joes wailing on Benny with sticks.
Benny! Recklessly attack with my rapier.
Wow.
Yeah, that'll hit against an AC of 10. Yeah.
Leave him
Yeah.
alone!
Oh, yeah, that's 1 unconscious. Yeah.
I've only got 1 attack, so that's all I can do.
Yeah, Benny's turn.
Benny doesn't have a weapon currently.
He is a weapon.
He what does it? He has a weapon.
He is a weapon.
It's one for pleasure, not for pain.
I mean, he can try and shag a commoner to death if you want to roll for it.
No. I'm just gonna carry on with the prestidigitation. No, sorry, vicious mockery. So
Vicious
first of all,
mockery.
I'm on my phone now because my laptop needed to reconnect.
Right, so that's a DC 14 Wisdom save from a commoner.
Yep.
Nope. They take 2 points of psychic damage.
Yeah, and I'll just say your mum is so slow. It took her 9 months to make a joke.
Very good, very good.
Thank you.
That commoner is now bloodied.
And then, yeah, I don't think I'll be doing anything else. I'm just gonna stand there laughing in their face after making that quip.
And that'll be Elvira, who I assume is now going to spiritual weaponly stab the other commoner to death.
Yes, she'll do that for a bonus action.
Oh.
Well, my spiritual weapon's there. It's not likely to not do it.
No, it's flying around in the area. You're probably going to use it for that, and it is the last enemy, and it is 3 minutes to 11.
It is exactly what I would do for that.
She loves me beyond.
Yeah.
Then I want to turn around to the big guy, who I'm guessing is unconscious.
Yep.
His chain.
Mm-hmm.
I will use my action if need be, but I'd like to try and fashion his chain into some form of accessory for myself.
So you want to steal one of his chains?
Yeah.
Now,
If I need to put it smaller to make it fit, I will.
yeah, it's a very, very big chain. Think like almost what would hold an anchor to a boat, but slightly. This guy's about 15 foot tall.
Yeah, no, never mind then. I was going to cut a bit off and use it as a choker. No.
I mean, you could cut off one chain link and fashion that into a choker.
Yeah. Instead, I just want to, if spare the dying will work on him and bring him back, I want to build his confidence back up because he's
None of them are dying. They're all stable. There's a sort of a magical protection in place put there by Esmeralda that means that as a result of this, nobody's going to die.
Yeah, no, we know that. I didn't know if he was still not.
But well, to be fair, I guess as characters you wouldn't know that. You as players know that because I told you. But I guess as characters you wouldn't know. So yeah, if you want to use spare the dying as
it's a cantrip anyway.
Yeah.
Just bring him to and then give him a drink from that I've held myself to from behind the bar. Just be friendly.
Yeah, sure. I'll allow for that. She's just being nice. She's like, oh, come on, get up, big chap. Fight's over. Here's a drink. Yeah, no, that's fine. That's
I'm
a lovely thing to do for him. Cool. Well,
victory.
We're out of combat now, obviously, because everyone got killed. So I will say that she will come back down. Thank you all for answering. Congratulate you all on your victory in this pub brawl, basically. And we'll then say, feel free to go about your business. I will send messengers to each of you with more information and where I think you should go next. Basically, she's going to use her information network to find a lead and send you a messenger to let you know where to go for the next thing.
Awesome.
The patrons appear back in their place as well. I just heard.
Yeah. It's like the room had darkened. It lightens back up. Everybody's there. Everyone that you've just kicked shit out of is back to how they were before. None the wiser. Don't even know they just had a fight. They're still arguing now again about what tastes better, half an unknown. Nobody looks beaten up. Nobody looks like they've had any danger whatsoever. You can't even tell if that was actually real or if it even happened.
Well, after every victory, Benny and Bjorn like to perform a little song anyway, so we'll start making some music for the patrons and see if they enjoy it.
Does it go?
Yes, it certainly can do. But I will start performing.
Benny.
Yeah.
How come everyone else has got their weapons?
You're asking the wrong man. I can't even remember the walk here, man.
They were on the list.
perhaps we can go and have a word with the people we took our money. We might be able to get it back.
I wouldn't advise it.
That's
Probably as weak as everyone else here.
And then level 20 security guards.
New campaign.
Certainly new players for this campaign.
What to say?
Yeah, but yeah, we'll wrap up there. Obviously just a brief little introduction to the world, little combat just to test the waters and so on. Little bit of story. It will be a bit more fleshed out and a little bit more informative next time. I just didn't have as much free time as I would have liked to have put something together properly for you.
It's brought the party together. We're a party.
None of that. If everybody was like all back and well, does that mean our HPs are still down?
No, you're all back to normal. You used no spell slots. You lost no HP. Nothing was expended. It was a minor test that was magically controlled by Esmeralda.
Yep, that's perfect. I just wanted to double check before I put anything back up.
I will put
Honestly,
back
it was
my
mostly for my
1
benefit, so I
HP.
could get a handle on you all as players and figure out what sort of shit you can get up to.
Oh, you
So
don't know.
we'll just forget.
I'll take them 10 HP back.
Don't change.
1 HP. I'll put mine back up by 1.
Yeah, that 1 HP that you lost when you got hit with a stick.
Yeah.
Benny can put back his 2 HP that he lost when he got hit with a stick.
And I will
Thanks.
put half my HP back.
Lyrindel almost died. he was bloodied with 1 chain whip.
6 and use 2 spell slots.
I lost 11.
6 and 2 spell slots.
You idiot.
Cool. That was
Yeah, I mean,
that was a great session.
it felt a bit rushed and a little bit skippy on parts, but
No, I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Ditto. Thank
didn't,
you.
didn't